Well, Sonam Wangchuk, the activist from Ladakh, unfortunately has been arrested and he has been charged with inciting violence. And NSA has been slapped against him and he's in Jodhpur jail for the last couple of days. But what is the story behind Sonam Wangchuk and what is the version of the family who has been rock solid behind him? Joining me is Dr. Gitanjali, who is Sonam Wangchuk's wife and has been here monitoring the developments from Leh. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. I want to begin by asking you, we did an interview with Sonam Wangchuk just a day before, and he said that he was expecting an arrest and he was looking forward to it. But the NSA that has been slapped, has the police got in touch with you? Has the government got in touch with you and given any details of what these charges really are?
I just got a call at 4 p.m. on Friday that he has been not arrested because I asked for the FIR and they said he has been detained and that he will be taken to Jodhpur Central Jail, and as soon as he lands there, they will make him speak to me, or the officer would speak to me, but I haven't heard from them in the last 48 hours.
Okay, so why do you think that Sonam expected that he will be arrested? Because obviously there was a MHA press statement which said that he was inciting violence, and it said he was talking about Arab Spring and a lot of other revolutions. So did he anticipate that the government was going to make him some kind of scapegoat in this?
So Sonam is a hero of Ladakh and is an inspiration not just to the youth but is also looked up to by everybody in Ladakh, including the officials in the government. So not just today but over the last 4 years, and Sonam has said this in many of his videos, that the government officials, be it in the police or they have been tipping him off before things happened out of their loyalty for being Ladakhi and for being here. So for the last 1 month, this was looming large, that there would be an FIR against him and that he would be arrested. Even when he came from Delhi last time, he came via Srinagar because he had to attend an event in Kargil. And even then they were, so they have been looking for some excuse to, issue an FIR against him or arrest him. But only recently we came to know that it could be NSA. It is again from within that we get the information of who it could be, what they're planning to do. So yes, that is why he said, and that is looking forward to it is his way of saying things with a humor,
Right.
that he's looking, and he has clarified that why he was looking forward to it is because things sometimes when don't happen when you are in the midst of it, happen when you have been taken away forcibly, and it awakens people more, and he knows, and we are sure that Ladakh is not going to sit idle, and that is why the government is scared and has issued this kind of a curfew. Otherwise, Ladakh is not Kashmir. The youth here have always been absolutely peaceful in protesting. So there was no reason to jam the internet or to do a protest, because the government is scared that there will be a public outrage and a backlash, that they have created these circumstances.
Well, I want to state this on record that, while there's a curfew underway, I tried to come here yesterday, but the police and the paramilitary stopped me. And so I had to take a longer route on foot to come to this location to get the version of the family.
In addition to being the family, I also head Hayal as the founder and the CEO.
Right.
And this harassment did not start day before yesterday with his arrest. It's been underway for the last 4 years. We've had constantly the IB Intelligence Bureau visit us on several occasions, but they did not find any ground. About a month ago, the whole nation knows that the land, they threatened to take it back, even though the delay is from their side to not sign the lease deed, as we have done the press conference and shown it on paper. And then they have CBI. It's not a raid. They came saying that we are doing fact finding, and they found nothing, which was wrong. And now they are just using that incident as a smokescreen for people, because the moment you utter CBI, then people think there must be something wrong.
Okay, I will come to that bit also, but I want to start with the
but I also wanted to place on record that even when I try to go out, there are questions. This morning I was to go and drop somebody, and they did not let, they're asking questions, and several of the media houses are not being allowed to come for us to just clarify the false narratives and the propaganda that is being bandied around.
So are you also saying that the family is not being allowed to move out?
No, I mean not openly so, but you saw yourself. It is almost like one has to answer. Like if I go out, I have to say where I am going and why. But more importantly, why should the media houses be stopped from meeting me? Right. Because they are going on giving unilateral press releases, with all ridiculous things like links with Pakistan. And
that's what my question was, because I was in that press conference with Ladakh DGP, Dr. S.D. Singh Jamwal, and in the press conference he said that they have arrested a Pakistani PIO, which is a Pakistani intelligence operative.
So that is their failure. That is the failure of the Ministry of Home Affairs if they have found such a thing here. What is the Ministry MHA doing? If they have found that intelligence person here, they have failed in their duty. I want them to be answerable. What have we to do with it? Why Sonam to be linked with it? Sonam went for this conference at Breathe Pakistan as a scientist, as a person who has been working on climate change. It was a conference that was held at the behest of United Nations for the entire EC mode, the whole Hindu Kush Himalayas, and of which we are a part of EC mode, which works with all of the Himalayan this thing. Because climate change and glaciers are not going to look at your boundaries, that whether I have to, cause a flood in Pakistan or India. There are some issues which go beyond geopolitics, and where countries, even though they may have geopolitical tensions, have to work together. And I have the video of Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, and in a hall full of 1,000 people, he has publicly praised Mr. Modi for working through Mission Life, for carbon neutral India, carbon neutral Ladakh, for climate change and all of that. So where are people getting this connection between his visit to Pakistan and this? Mr. Modi travels to China. He shakes hands with Muhammad Yunus. So it is the intent behind the meetings. Okay, not everybody who goes to China is a terrorist. And if anybody has been found here, I am asking the Ministry of Home Affairs to answer this question: why there has been a breach of security? Rather than blaming it squarely on Sonam Wangchuk, who has nothing to do with it. And his life of 60 years is a testimony to this fact, that he has only worked for the benefit of the youth of Ladakh, for the pride of India. He is a scientist who is respected the world over. Okay, he has won recognitions and awards across, various countries like France, and he was invited to Switzerland to talk at the Nobel Foundation about his work. We are the only institute in the country that does reverse technology transfer. Our artificial ice super glaciers are built in Chile, in Switzerland, in this Tibetan plateau. Our passive solar heated buildings are looked as, the future of building in the world. Even people from Switzerland and Western Europe and Canada, whom our LG goes for looking for consulting, they come to us to learn how these kinds of buildings, which do not generate any carbon and do not cause any pollution. So he has stood for innovation, for education, for social reform, for environment and climate change. And it is ridiculous that in this country, anybody, and the government can even just get away with this narrative. And we have friends across the country and across the world. We are being rallied with support. The only people who are spreading negative is the IT cell, which has been paid to do it. Any man, including you as a reporter, you've been here. Even if you talk to the people who got lathi charge on themselves, okay, or who were the families of the bereaved, and we are very sorry about it. And Sonam immediately condemned it, and he stopped his fast because he didn't want the youth to be harmed more. If he were inciting, then he could have done to keep it more, right? But he stopped his fast because he didn't want this to be escalated. And these bereaved families, they are such fine people, even after having lost their sons. When asked by some of the media houses whom I was talking to yesterday, they said it is not at all Sonam Wangchuk's fault. It is not he who incited it. He, poor thing, didn't even know this was happening. He was in another park, peacefully, and this was supposed to be a peaceful protest. So my question again is, rather than saying Sonam ignited it or incited it, it is the failure of the administration, who in their right minds opens fire on their own citizens. My question, and let the administration answer, who asked the CRPF to open fire? Were these terrorists they were dealing with? There are other options. You have tear gas, you have other water, cannons which you could have used. Why did they use open fire? I really want an answer to this question. Instead of asking us to answer, did Sonam incite it? I may even say that maybe it was all planted and incited by them because they were trying to frame Sonam for a long time. We want inquiry into this. There has been a request for this inquiry and it should be done. But unfortunately, in this country right now, the media is sold, judiciary is sold, everything is, compromised, to suit one narrative. And that is, it is not democracy. We cannot call ourselves the, mother of all democracies anymore. Unfortunately so.
All right. Another allegation that I want to talk about, and you have clarified publicly also, is on the FCRA license. There was a statement given that FCRA license is being cancelled. So how do you give the details? Have you given the details to the government, and why do you think this action has been taken?
As I told you, this witch hunting started long back, 4 years ago, when Sonam started the Anshan, and he was doing it absolutely peacefully, and he was reminding the government that you had promised. He was himself who voted for the BJP last time when the last MP won, and everybody here voted for them to bring them to power because they were fulfilling the need that was there in every heart of having sixth schedule, of having legislature, because a UT without legislature, without sixth schedule, you're just opening up to vultures, So that is how it started 4 years ago. And he has been on record doing it, peacefully. But the string started getting, tightened against us gradually. So our FCRA, so there are two organizations, SecMol, the school, and Hayal. So the FCRA of SecMol was there. So all the funds, I want to tell you to all the trollers who are going on and on about illegal funds to SecMol. SecMol had a valid registered FCRA license. And all the funds that have come for a purpose and have been used for the purposes for which it came. The recent, one of the points in the ministry's notification is that there was about sovereignty of the nation. I mean, it can either be an idiot who does it or a malicious person, because people are laughing at this line from the ministry that on this frivolous. It was about food sovereignty, for heaven's sake. Food sovereignty is when you grow your own food, because this is the vision of Mahatma Gandhi, of Sri Aurobindo, that it is not globalization that India has to go for, but local sufficiency, localization. India was always an abundant country because our Ayurveda or Siddha, they all depend on the local herbs, The houses were built with local material. Everything, 80% of your staple needs, roti, kapra, makan, was fulfilled through your local need. That is why it had that natural, this thing against recession.
Right.
India was always safe from recession, from globalization, because we were locally self-sufficient, and that's the way forward. And that is being taught to every child at SecMol and Hayal. And the project was for that. But you cannot just start a project on food sovereignty. You need funds initially for the greenhouses to be set up, manure, basic infrastructure. And this funds had come for that. It was hardly some 4 lakh something. And now you remove the comma and you make S sovereignty, And so all the charges against which the FCRA was cancelled of SecMol are so frivolous. And coming to Hayal's FCRA, so we had applied for it in 2 to 3 years ago. And when Sonam went on the fast for the first time, the Intelligence Bureau used to visit us every day, and they started using it as a blackmailing tool. That if you continue with this unction, your FCRA license won't be finalized. So Sonam said, okay, don't do it. We are not dependent on foreign funds. Our entire philosophy is that Section 8 Hayal, which is a not-for-profit company, or SecMol, which is a society, we don't depend on funds for operational running. And that's what the donors love about us, because most of the NGOs, they exist for as long as they have funds and they shut down. That's for those who are interested in the funds. We are interested in a cause that we work for, and we don't want to be dependent on anybody for the cause, to be compromised. So we only use CSR funds for building infrastructure and for capex. Operationally, we try to be always generating our own funds, and that is what this was about. So Sonam said, we don't need FCRA. I mean, if you wanted to be that I should stop my unction, you don't have to give us FCRA. So Hayal's FCRA was not given by them, and SecMol's FCRA, which was there valid, expired last year, and they have been delaying it. They haven't renewed it because they were looking to cancel it.
Right.
Okay. But
one last question to you, ma'am. Now that Mr. Wanchuk is in Jodhpur jail, what will be legally, your family or the organization or the movement that is being led here? Will you approach the court for justice?
Yes, definitely. But we are waiting, and patiently so, for the last 2 days when I was promised that the detention order would be sent to me, 2 days ago. But it hasn't been done yet. So I'm waiting for the detention order to know the charges in depth so that we can respond, in depth and in the right way. Definitely we'll take legal resource. We're not going to sit here hand on hand.
Right. Thank you very much for speaking to NDTV. Well, that was Dr. Gitanjali, wife of Sonam Wangchuk, the prominent activist from Ladakh, saying that all the allegations that have been leveled, be it the FCRA, be it the Pakistani connection, are completely fabricated. They are not, will not stand in the court of law, and they would be certainly now leading perhaps a battle in the court for justice to be delivered and for an early release of Sonam Wangchuk. Reporting from Leh, with video journalist Momin, this is Aditya Kaul